in your experience, what's the key to winning?
Fold king, queen pre-flop. It's the worst hand in poker.
Queen pre-flop.
People say seven deuces
because it gives you confidence,
hand.
Right? It thinks you're going to win.
The problem with king, queen, it's second best so many times. It looks great, but you're in trouble with it. For me, anyway. I mean, it's my kryptonite. I cannot win with king, queen. I've lost more money with those two cards than anything else. But the biggest thing for poker, the best thing is position, right? Knowing the position in relation to where the action is. If so, last to act is obviously the best, and that has more power than anything else.
Yep.
But it's a dynamic game because it changes at every single moment. That's why I like it.
Well, I'm probably going to fixate on this because, I mean, I know how to play poker, not well. You know, I've won some money here and there, you know, friendly matches. But, like, how much of a mental game is it? Because you hear about, you know, folks, you know, playing at the highest levels, and it just, you know, you watch the shows and they kind of make it seem like there's maybe more going on than there is. But how much is it a mental game?
It's hugely mental because a lot of it is based on unknown, you know, features, right? You don't know what somebody else has, but you have to be able to put them on a range of hands based on their actions, generally speaking, and then exploit that and play their hand instead of your own cards. So it's sometimes, honestly, it's not as important as what you have as compared to what they have or should have given the situation. And then knowing your opponent, right? So people have live tells. They make, you know, mistakes, and you see the same people all the time doing the same thing. And then you watch the results. So you have to be very cognizant of what people are doing. And generally they always try to do the opposite of what they actually mean, right? So, so if someone has a strong hand, they're going to act weak. And if someone has a weak hand, they're going to act very strong. Like, you know, so there's a lot of things like that, a lot of nuances that you have to pick up on.
Thinking they're being clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to play football, and I remember on defense playing D-back and safety, you know, you're taught, don't watch their feet, don't watch their shoulders, don't watch their head or their eyes, watch their hips. Their hips will tell you where they're going every time. Like, if you watch their feet, you're going to get faked out. If you watch other things, they're going to move them around and try to fake you out. But if you watch their hips have to point in the direction that the receiver is going to go. And it sounds, you know, it's very similar. You have to know based on what they're doing, what they're probably going to do next.
Yeah. And then finally the mathematics of it, you know, you have to have a good understanding, even if it's at a high level, of the mathematics, so you could calculate pot odds quick enough to say, is it worth it for me to make this move? And the other thing really, Brian, is to have a plan, right? So every single time you put money into a pot, you have to be thinking not just this move, but the next two moves. So it's like chess in that respect.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of guys that are good at chess and good at backgammon can play poker at a high level.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So what's your craziest poker story that you are allowed to tell?
Oh my God. There's so many of them, but I'll tell you one that was, just happened 2 weeks ago down at the Hard Rock. Well, no, it was at Pompano, whatever. So I'm playing in a tournament. I got 60,000 in chips in front of me. Again, it's a tournament, right? And the blinds are pretty small, like 200, 400. And I am in, I forget what position I was in, but at the point, I had ace king suited, right? So I raised 3x. I made it $1,200. I got a call. Everybody, and I got like 4 or 5 calls. The flop comes over, ace, king, deuce, rainbow, right? Rainbow means no suits or anything like that. No suits matched.
Okay.
So it comes to me, I check. And it comes all the way around, and it checks all the way around, right? Because I'm thinking, I've got to have the best hand.
Right.
Turn comes over, a 4. Again, rainbow. No connection, really.
No connection, yeah.
So I bet this guy raises. I re-raise. We get it all in. He's only got like 17,000, so it doesn't really cost me all that much. He had 3-5. So he had a straight.
Okay.
So half an hour later, I've got pocket kings. I did the same thing, raise pre-flop. Flop, it comes all the way around. Same guy calls. The flop comes over, ace, king, deuce, rainbow. I've got a set of kings. So I check again. Comes all the way around. Guy checks. turn comes over a 4. So I bet. The guy raises. I re-raise all in. He calls. He had 5-3 again. And I was like, dude, you got to be kidding me. Do you have 5-3 tattooed somewhere on your body? It was just the most bizarre thing for the same exact flop. And I had 2 monsters and the same result. It was just weird.
How do you keep from getting too emotional? I mean, you've made a lot of money in your life. You're not, I mean, it's not the end of the world if you lose. It's fun if you win. But still being a competitive person, like I got to check my emotions a lot every day because I can turn up the temperature real fast on people and they don't, and I can hurt some feelings, right? How do you keep from getting too emotional and letting that kind of play into how you do?
Great question. So, there's a term in poker called, going on tilt. And tilt means that you're not acting rationally because of what happened in the past.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to compartmentalize what happened as an isolated incident, and it's going to happen. There's variance in poker. Somebody only has 2 outs, meaning 2 cards that they can win with, and they hit it on the river. It happens. It's frustrating, but you have to understand that if you're a 95% favorite and you lose the hand, that means 95 other times you're going to win. So just keep that in mind and play your game. You got to stay steady. You have to have a good mental balance about what's going to happen at the poker table because anything can happen. And it does. It's, sometimes I use the expression sometimes live poker is fixed because you see stuff that happens and you're like, holy shit, this is crazy.
There's no way.
But when it happened online, people would say, oh, it's fixed. It's rigged. But
the software's running it, cheat codes.
Exactly.
Right?
But it's not because I see it happen all the time live. And I say, that's my phrase is live poker is fixed. And people will just laugh.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching one of the clips from the Business Line podcast. If you want to see the full episode, click up here.
And if you want to see more fun clips, click up here.